podcast on a Monday edition. Very excited to be with you guys tonight. Lots to talk about, a lot of things happening as always in the digital asset world. Always very exciting over here. Just getting all of our, as you know, getting ready for this social media presentation. We are going to be live in a moment on 8 different platforms. We appreciate, we are now getting ready to go live here on Facebook. Let me just make sure that our
who gets to see your background? Because somebody now gets a background. Dave's
they're definitely public. Wow, it's definitely on public at things right now. Oh, that's on public. Hold on a second.
So they don't get the background on
Instagram does not get the cool background that we're
there. It is.
Yeah, there we are.
Who's that?
Is
that Instagram?
This is Instagram's there, and here are going to be all the other.
Everything else. So everybody else gets the background, but Instagram. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's a wild thing. And you know what's interesting is right now it's not letting me go to share with the. It's interesting. Right now I'm trying to share our Facebook live with everybody, and it's giving me a problem again. Why is that happening? We are live on Facebook, but it's only allowed to go to our immediate friends. I have to redo this, I think, again. We apologize for the technical difficulties, and please stand by.
Dave, you're fired.
I am fired. See, it's doing it again. Get notified as post. Getting notified. We've not received notifications. We want to make sure we get notified. Turn on notifications. And it is not allowing me to go public on this thing here right now. Isn't that crazy? Let's see if we can make sure that the channels are opened and ready to go over here. Hopefully it doesn't delete anything as we are going to be live. Thank you for being a part as the usual suspects. Usual suspects.
That works. That works.
Watching the show. A lot to talk about with you guys today. It's going to be exciting. A lot of knowledge, a lot of really cool stuff going on. There's our Facebook streaming there. It's weird how this kind of happens. Let's see. That's an X is going there. Boom. Let's see if we are now able to do this. Try one more time, and then we're going to go live, and we're going to talk about what we're talking about. We'll come back and play with it if I have to ask. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Intro to Crypto with Michael Cristoforo and David Lamel here. We are excited to be a part of your lives every week, having some fun with you and going live on the Crypto Podcast. All right. So a lot of things to talk about. This has been a crazy weekend. The market is pumping right now.
It is.
Pumping like you want to be. We want to thank very much on Instagram. We see over here, it says Chine Demand 4. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Everybody out there who's been waiting and watching, thank you so much for your patience and letting us get this ready for you. So, when we talk about crypto, what are the dynamics of people in America that are watching this show? What age groups, what kind of people are involved in crypto? Do you know in America how many people are actually involved in crypto? What age groups? What do you think? Well, let's get into it, Mike, because I thought this is very interesting. The Harris Poll, which is a global consulting firm, the oldest survey company in the world, or in America, did a crypto survey. 1 in 5 Americans, that's 55 million U.S. adults, have crypto today. That's amazing because it's more than it was before, but it's shocking that it's so little at the same time when it's the next big thing happening in America and the world.
At what level are we going to retire from this? That's the question, Dave. At what level?
It's the $1 million question. I think it's something to do. The whole point of this podcast, first of all, just to clarify, this is not financial advice. Do your research. I'm a real estate agent, a mortgage broker, and our job is to make sure that you have a chance to learn about something that you never heard of before. If you've heard it before, but you didn't get into it because you weren't comfortable, you didn't understand the language, it was way above your head, this is for you a chance to get involved and learn about the crypto industry, digital assets, so that you don't miss it. You've all heard about that person who was talking about Bitcoin back in the day, and we all thought they were crazy, and we didn't get involved in it because they were talking about something you never heard of before. It's fake, it's not real. And then they became multi-billionaires, millionaires, billionaires, and they disappeared. And it was the guy or the girl or the person that was in a room, in their hangout, they're very introverted. You heard them talking about there were strange people, but now today it's not about the strange people. It's about you and me and us learning about the digital asset world that's happening right in front of your eyes, but you just don't know about it. Why? Because not in the mainstream TV on a regular basis. If you watch the business networks, they do talk about it when they're talking about stocks. They've been talking about Bitcoin, the godfather of crypto, but they don't really talk about what's happening, getting involved. They don't recommend it. They're kind of poo-poo still on it.
The adoption of the new financial system that everything's going to be running on.
Exactly correct,
That's
Michael.
what they're not telling you until you do your research and see what's going on.
And here's what's going to happen. We're going to be wondering why no one told us. Why didn't someone share this information with us? So let's get into it about the age groups. So we have over here more people over the age of 55 own crypto, which I thought to be shocking, because people, as we talk today with older people, they don't want to hear from it or know about it. They seem to be the ones that are less likely to be involved, but more and more people over the age of 55 are starting to get involved in it.
Well, I'm over 55.
So I'm going to be 51 in a couple of weeks.
Well, I'm over 55, and I recognize that this is probably the last opportunity or the last frontier of where I can actually invest for my retirement and for my kids.
Absolutely. Because before this, you've only heard about your 401k, your stocks and your bonds, and being, very well invested in diversified, right? Well, the diversification is now changing as to what is being diversified. And again, your stockbrokers now, by the way, we're going to get into it, what ETFs are and learning about that as well. They'll talk to you more about ETFs, or you might want to ask about ETFs. But getting back into the age group. So we have, again, more people over the age of 55 own crypto than people under the age of 25. Now, probably a lot has to do with people who have money when they're older, right? Yeah. Income brackets may help encourage them to kind of learn more about financially investing in themselves and their futures. People over 55 really want to retire, get ready to retire. Yeah. And they're starting to go and think to themselves, how can I get this done sooner than working till 75 years old? Yeah. People at the age of 25 and under are thinking about retiring, which is good. They should be thinking about working hard.
Well, they're also thinking about paying off student loan debt.
They're
trying to buy a house. They're struggling to buy houses right now. So,
well, this is an opportunity to be able to buy a house, and maybe having a future and opportunity to have real assets that'll help you get to where you want to be earlier in life than later. Amen. So crypto is not just for the bros. Nearly 1/3 of crypto holders are women. Good job. 1/3 of crypto holders are women. Now, to me, I was shocked when I read that. And the reason I say it to you is because think about our wives and how, and again, it might be part of the age group thing. At the age of 50 plus, when you talk to your wives, they're not thinking about crypto and what exactly is that for them. And, don't tell me about it until it has any kind of value to me, right? Like that's kind of where they are with that.
Yeah, you've let me down before. Yeah. I'm done. I don't need to hear about your crypto. Right. You've already let me down, David. And
you
Michael.
Promised me that bag. You promised me that car. You promised me that vacation, and I didn't perform on it because things weren't working out financially. And I don't want to hear about your promises unless you have something to show for it. Yeah. Fair and reasonable. But
I have a friend of mine in Wallingford that I really enjoy. He says when it does hit, he will not even tell his wife, but he says there'll be signs. That's the way he said. That's what he always talks about. There'll be signs, but he won't.
A paper he's going to make plaster over the house, like follow me, follow the trail.
Or a new car shows up or something. You know, that's what he talks about.
How did you get this new car? Oh, you were just, making me happy.
Yeah, the crypto you never wanted to hear about.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, opportunity for you to get involved in something very important in your life. So 1/3 of women are now involved in crypto in the United States. Very impressive. We have more diversity. Crypto holders, many crypto holders are working in construction, which I thought was also very interesting. People in construction are more involved in crypto than people not in construction. Construction and also tech holders, people in technology, our IT guys are very much crypto. which makes sense to us because that would be something you think of technology and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
My wife is watching. Hello, baby. I love you so much. Talking about my wife. I'm so
Oh,
proud that she's
shoot.
watching.
Sorry, Val.
It could be my wife. It could be my daughter. It could be both of them hopefully watching. Very nice to be a part of the show. So yeah, 1/3 of women in the world, or in America especially, are involved in crypto, and they're gaining knowledge. And women tend to learn things faster than men do. I'm going to
They're
say
smarter
that
than
they,
we are.
they are
They're
smarter.
smarter than we are.
But if they want and have interest in something, they will learn it faster, and they eat, sleep, and breathe it. And that's an impressive thing. We're guys, it takes us a little longer to kind of learn about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We have to get into it, like sports or whatever it is that's going to make us excited. Crypto is not just for the rich. Many crypto holders are not in high income brackets. As a matter of fact, 26% of crypto owning households earn less than $75,000 a year, which I thought to be shocking. Yes, it is my wife. Okay, thank you, Val, for pointing that out. It is my wife watching. Thank you, baby. So
be on your best behavior.
Amen. But no, we always talk about her, so I'm happy
Oh,
she's watching. But 26% of people who own crypto are making less than $75,000 a year. These are the people who probably work hard, blood, sweat, and tears. These are the people who really want to see it happen and perform. These are the people who don't have as much money to involve themselves in the stock market and get involved in their lives. But now these people are seeing.
I'm glad to
the light.
I'm glad to see them at that income bracket start to maybe spend more on crypto and less on lottery tickets.
Absolutely. But you know what it also is to afford to buy crypto? It's much easier than buying a stock, right? So, and again, with crypto, you can buy pieces
Right.
of it the same as you can with stocks.
Right.
But in crypto, you can own, for example, an XRP at $2 and maybe, stop buying coffee 10 times a week and own a few shares every week of again, XRP, or you're going to buy XLM, or you're going to buy HBAR, you're going to buy XTC. These are things we call penny stocks in the stock market, as opposed to the crypto industry. So again, you're learning, and I'm excited about it. As a matter of fact, there's a couple of friends of mine who, even this weekend, I was at the beach club, and I got talking to one of my friends who I hadn't seen in a year, and he mentioned that I talked about the podcast, and he said that he'd been buying Bitcoin since December, and I was like, "That's fantastic! They're involved." And he's like, "Yeah, I set like $50 a week, and I automatically buy." And I asked him, "Do you know what XRP is?" And he didn't know of XRP because everybody knows Bitcoin, right? So I started talking about XRP. I said, "Do your research and start to understand." The excitement that got in his eyes about the opportunity of XRP, and to know that he has a chance to get involved in something at the very base of where it's going to be, got him excited for opportunity to own larger pieces of the puzzle. Right. And that was huge.
I mean, really, realistically, Bitcoin hit $110,000 today. If he's buying at 50 cents a week,
$50 a week,
$50 a week, excuse me, he's getting
0.00006% of one share, as opposed to $50 a week on XRP. You're owning probably 20 to 25 shares. That's unbelievable.
And we believe that the growth opportunity is going to be far greater than a Bitcoin.
The X factor, how many X's it's going to go up. And again, they're talking about things. You guys got to do your research. You watch the Jay Clavers and Mikkel and Crypto Sensei and all these guys, that are really amazing on the YouTube channels. There's a lot of great guys. Paul Barron, which is digital. What's it called? Paul Barron. Paul Barron, a great guy. Give me
Bearable Bull.
Bearable Bull.
He's
King Solomon.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great guys out there who really are smart in the crypto industry that you really want to learn from. Really pay attention to Jay Claver.
If you start going on a YouTube channel and you just plug in XRP, your feed will fill up with people.
Right. Big news that happened on Friday. The NASDAQ green light pricing data. What does that mean? So right now, the NASDAQ is just implemented 4 new ETFs from crypto. Unheard of. The only one you knew about was Bitcoin. You could buy as ETF. Now
it's the new Prime data infrastructure. It's not the ETFs yet. The ETFs are not out yet.
I apologize. Thank you for the correction.
No problem.
This massive step towards Solana, which is SOL, Cardano, which is ADA, Stellar, XLM, and of course, XRP which is Ripple. Being actively reviewed for ETF approval. The ETF providers require reliable, regulated pricing feeds, as you just said. Let's see. This isn't speculation anymore. These tokens are being positioned to Wall Street integration. Thank you, Can Be Designed, for also joining us on Instagram as well. We have so many people watching right now on Facebook, on TikTok, on Rumble, on all these different streaming apps. But I can see in front of us the Instagram one. So thank you for being part of it over here. XRP ETFs are on deck. Not just one, but 13. Sorry, I just spit. 13. There are currently 13 XRP ETF applications lined up, quietly submitting and under review. This suggests a full institutional rush is underway. Banks, asset managers, and hedge funds are preparing to onboard XRP at scale.
Just imagine, guys. Just imagine for a moment that you have millions and millions of dollars that is going to set up, and let's just say each ETF equals, let's say 20 XRP in each one. So 20 times 2, let's just say it's $50 each one of them. And let's just say they have millions and millions of them that are all going to come out there that are going to be sold to people
all over the world,
in the on the stock market.
Every stockbroker is now have the opportunity to sell ETFs of the same crypto you're able to buy using like a Uphold app, for example, or many other apps out there. We can get into the apps at some point also.
Yeah.
And you're buying them on the very simplest. You're buying at the, what's the right way to explain it? Like, you're not buying it at the retail. You're buying it at wholesale.
Yes, but even still, I mean, the thing is that there's so much utility to actually own the actual asset. I mean, I have an IRA that's a crypto IRA, and I have the traditional assets. There's going to be a lot more that you're going to do with the traditional assets than you will be able to do with the IRA. The IRA, you'll see the appreciation, which is great, but I think the utility of what you're going to be able to use the assets for are going to be so much greater.
Yes.
So actually owning it rather than owning the ETF, in my opinion, is a better deal.
Mortgages by Marion also just joined up on Instagram.
Hey, Marion.
Hey, Marion. Good to thank you. Have to be a part of the show as well. So again, this whole ETF thing is mind blowing because 2 years ago, it was not even an option, not available, not even a conversation piece. It was not even something that the world ever thought, or America or the industry saw coming. So the ETF on crypto, again, if you're a stock, my uncle, I remember during back Thanksgiving, I own Bitcoin, I own ETFs. And I was like, just kind of, I didn't even know that ETFs of Bitcoin, by the way. I had no idea. It is, I own a percentage of Bitcoin because, like, again, Bitcoin was, I don't know, $75,000 at the time. But now you're able to buy these cryptos as ETFs, which means that, like Michael was saying, millions and millions of dollars going to be pumped into the stock market buying these ETFs, which is going to take each one of these cryptos and drive the price where? Up to the moon. Rocket ship style. All right.
Like my shirt.
Michael's got a great XRP shirt that his kids bought for him.
Had made for me.
Had specially made for him with his picture on it. I'm not sure if you can see it. Very cute stuff over here. And it shows Michael having a beer.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it shows me on the moon with a beer. And my son had it made for me for Christmas. So.
Love it, love it, love it.
And it says XRP.
All right. Let's see why this will likely price people out. So let's talk about, here's part of the things that people want to look at the pricing people out. So one of the conversation pieces of today is, will you get priced out? Are you priced out now in buying crypto? And at this moment in your life, you're not priced out. But there are people who bought things when they were pennies, and now to them to buy dollars may be priced out for them. Today, buying at the dollars is nothing compared to what it's going to turn into. If XRP goes from $2.25 today to $10, are you priced out? You can afford $10 for an XRP because it's still cheaper than $100,000, right? But how many XRP can you buy? You're going to buy a lot less.
Right.
So your ability to buy more right now of these coins is much easier than it'll be as time moves on over the next few months and next couple of years.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to buy them still, probably continue. If something goes to $100, can you still buy it? Yeah, maybe you'll buy one, but you won't be able to buy 50 or 100 because of the cost it'll cost you.
Yep.
Then people talk about, well, how many coins do I need to be wealthy? Well, each person's idea of what wealthy is, or each person's idea of what they can afford is different. Do your research. Never spend more than you can afford. Make sure you can take care of your bills and your family and your assets. And then we have extra money that you're spending on stuff that is irrelevant, like going to lunch and getting 2 sandwiches for $50, which is crazy. My wife and I, we actually had lunch today, and we got these turkey burgers. They were awful, and the bill came as $50 for 2 turkey burgers, and I just like sat there and looked at
Where
them.
were you? Oh, maybe I
shouldn't say. I'll just say it was a tiny little diner that we just went to. My poor wife was starving; she hadn't eaten in a while. She whatever, she had to eat some. She was starving. We went and got. And I just was like, oh my God, this is great. So we think about these things that we go and we spend money. If you're going to go out and enjoy, but you might do less of it because you can have a chance to invest in your future. Things are going to happen. So are you priced out right now? You might be priced out of Bitcoin, right? $110,000 just hit today. I said, well, as we're sitting here, I think it's $110,000.
Yeah.
But the ones that you can afford to buy, you should try and make every effort to get involved and learn and buy, because it's going to happen. And it's going to happen soon, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be amazing for people who got a couple hundred shares. They're going to be very happy.
Yep.
Or someone who bought 1,000 shares. I was talking to this guy this week, and he goes, I want to buy 1,000 shares. I go, okay, 1,000 shares at $2 and let's just say 50 cents. Okay, so how much is that going to cost you? Like $2,500, whatever it was. He's like, I can do that. I'm like, and can you imagine 1,000 shares goes to $1,000?
It's $1 million.
$1 million. Is it going to happen overnight? No, maybe not. Maybe it does. Who knows?
Heck,
But if it goes to 100,
even if it goes to 50,
right?
I mean,
So
yeah,
the X factor involved in this. So
yes, the more you have, the better you're going to be.
And you can afford to buy more now than you will later. All right. So that was part 2 on the getting priced out. I made a lot of notes over here on getting priced out. And the third thing I want to talk about was over here was was that the third thing? Was that the last thing I'm going to talk about? ETF growing, getting priced out, and a Ripple. Mike, what else?
I think we were talking about on the pricing. We were talking about the more you can buy, the cheaper it is. In 2017, you could have bought an XRP for 0.005 cents.
That's not going to make anybody feel better.
No, well, it's important to know 0.005. Okay, turned into 50 cents in 2020, 2021, 2022. It was all hovering
70 cents,
still 50,
cents.
70 cents, whatever. But it's still, you bought it for 0.005. So now it's at $2.32 today.
Right.
When it goes to $50, people are going to look at you and say, wow, you bought those at $2.30. Yes, there's always somebody that, there's people that bought it cheaper than me, but you can either look at it, and say, I lost the opportunity, or what if the opportunity is still ahead of us?
Hold on, people, how about Amazon and Google and all these different ones there? They didn't get involved in it when they first came out and buying it for $10 or $5 or $20 when those stocks came out. And today people are still buying it at $100, $150, and $200 a share. They're not buying it. Right? People are still pumping their money into these stocks because they see the value in them, and they're only getting bigger and larger and making more money. So you might be buying portions of it at that point. Yep. And in the future, again, an XRP.
And you're not even giving credit for all the splits that happened on all those stocks.
Exactly right.
So you could have bought it for $6 or $10.
Right.
But every time it went up, it split and doubled,
quadrupled,
and
yada, yada, yada.
each time. So this is almost similar thing. You can literally be doing that now, and when it goes to $50, I'm not saying there's going to be a doubling and splitting. There won't be.
No.
But a $50 bill is coming for that. I'm not saying it's going to be tomorrow. I'm just saying,
listen,
this is where we're going. And when institutions come in there, the other thing is when the institutions come, there's only a limited supply on those exchanges.
That's a very good
What
point.
if we run out? And that's one of the things that a lot of these guys in the know are talking about, is that supply and demand. When the supply is greater than the demand, you'll see the prices take off.
It's not like $1 that they're going to print more money of it. It's made, it's done, it's only an allotted amount available. and understand that what XRP is. Again, to know what XRP is, not just on dollars and cents, and we're talking about, again, just to remember if this is your first time tuning in, what XRP is. XRP Ledger is how all money is being transferred from bank to bank. Every transaction that's happening, millions and millions of transactions happening per day from every bank all over the world, whether you're in Dubai, South America, Africa, Europe, America. Every banking institution uses right now the SWIFT system. They say that it's quadrillions of dollars per day that the SWIFT system is taking in. I didn't even know what the word quadrillion meant. I was just talking to my buddy Tom this weekend.
I know you're sounding like a pro over here now. I'm sitting here. I'm saying, I'm proud. I got a son here.
All right. Listen, you're teaching me everything now. Quadrillions is actually a dollar amount. So anybody never heard quadrillion? Never heard of it? Quadrillion is a
thousand.
I don't know. I don't
1,000 million.
All I can tell you. So the big thing is that SWIFT system has 100% of this quadrillions of dollars, and XRP is going to be integrated into the SWIFT system. If XRP only does 1% of this quadrillions of business transactions, and it's going to be greater than that. They said that the XRP token will be over $980 per token. At 1%, we didn't even get involved at the ETFs that are coming into play over here, where it's going to drive the price up of the value of the token. Again, when people buy stocks, by the way, before it hits the stock market, there are places you can buy those stocks before it gets to the stock market. What do they call that? Help me out. There's a
I'm going to leave you hanging here for a bit.
I'll call it the black hole.
IPO.
IPO.
Yeah.
If you can buy stocks at an IPO, right, you bought them much cheaper before it hits the stock market. And then the people who, when they hit the stock market, are going to pay double or triple what the person bought as an IPO, right? This is the IPO time for you in the crypto industry. Let that make relevant sense to you.
Only because regulations are not out yet. That's the reason why I'm going to say
100%.
I'm going to say that, there's truth to that, even though it's been around for years, you're still at the IPO level as far as I'm concerned and you're concerned, because regulations have not.
ISO 20022. Regulations, right?
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
And with the regulations coming out, it's going to change the it factor of all these coins. And not all these coins, because not every one of them are going to go to the moon, and it's going to be a handful of them. I don't know if there's a 20,000 coins or 100,000 coins out there. I don't know how many different kinds there are, but there's probably going to be 10, maybe 100 coins that'll make it. Is that fair?
I think 10's on the low side.
Okay. 100?
I would say a couple hundred probably that will probably make it. I mean,
and there'll be
it's not going to be just, no, there will, it will definitely be a top 10. I mean, XRP is number 3 right now. It's been number 2, top 3, 10. Yeah. It's been the top 10 for the last 12 years. So, it's not going to go anywhere, but I think it's it's not the only one. It's not going to be the only token, but it is the biggest horse in the race. The biggest horse.
We know it's not the only one because they just brought 4 in to make ETFs, right?
Yeah.
But we know what again, you got to do your research and understand what these different ones. So Solana is SOL. Stellar Lumens, Stellar Lumens, which is XLM, XRP, which is Ripple. You got to look them up again, you can look them up on Google to see what the values are. Yeah. You can go to Uphold, which is a great, they've got Uphold and Kraken and Coinbase and Crypto.com and so many other different, and we'll talk more. We need to kind of do a podcast on what the differences are from each one of these.
Sure.
What I can tell you is
Solana, you're priced out on Solana already.
$156 a share.
You could, when everything was collapsing back, when the whole FTX thing was imploding, 2021, 2022, went down to $8. Now it's at 156. I'm priced out of it. I'm not in it.
As well.
I'm not getting into it.
I'm not into it either.
You can buy it, but I'm not going to get into it. So the XLM is still in the 20s and 30 cents. That's a great buy.
There's a couple more we've been mentioned that are on here, like HBAR, which is about 20 cents a share. XDC, which is another great one. What you can also do is you can go on X and you can do research there. On YouTube, follow, listen to people. There are some really smart people. There's some really naysayers out there too. Yada yada yada, who are only Bitcoin people. But again, you're going to learn a lot by doing your research and investigating. Mike, this is a good show.
Thanks, Dave.
A
Yeah,
quickie
it
and
was
a
great.
good one, right?
So
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You're
I was going to say, it's always good when you do the notes. Thank you.
I try to get a little preparation for us to kind of have to talk about. I like to look down at sheets of paper and have bullet points. It helps me to be prepared for you guys out there. So.
He's the A student that I cheat off of.
And he's the teacher that I'm learning from. So it works out well. Thank you so much, everybody, being a part of our show every week. We appreciate, we love you. We hope that we're teaching you a little bit to learn about so you can do your research. If Mike and I find out that one day one of you have an amazing life and future because of what you heard today, you heard it from us because no one else talked to you about it. You wouldn't feel comfortable listening. And this happens because of the show. That's going to make for us paying it back, paying it forward. It will. I mean, like I was just crying just thinking about it. It makes me feel good in my heart to know that we can help somebody out there, because so many people out there struggle and they work hard every day, and they just need a break. You just need a break. You need a chance, and this is your chance. This is your opportunity to be able to go and breathe and have a chance to not struggle. That doesn't mean not to work for the rest of your life, because I think working is important for mind and body. But to be able to enjoy, and then once you do, the next step is to learn how to take what you've made and learn what you've got and how to let it work for yourself. Those are the things that, again, like a Jake Klaver will teach you about, and a Caleb Brown account would kind of help you about. Is that fair and reasonable?
Sure.
All right. Thank you for joining us again every day, every week, Mondays and Fridays, the Crypto, Intro to Crypto. Michael Cristoforo, David Lamel here. Thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, Marion.
All right. I'm going to